All this computer hacking is making me thirsty.
All I wanna do is drink beer for breakfast.
Suds and Security.
All I wanna eat is them barbecue chips. All I want is someone just to try to protect us.
All right, welcome to Suds Security. I'm Greg.
I'm John, and happy to be sampling a little Dos Equis. What do you got?
I have a 420 extra pale ale from Sweetwater
cheers.
Brewing. Yeah, cheers.
Suds and Security.
All right. So today we're going to talk about ransomware.
Ransomware. It's in the news everywhere.
Everywhere. There's tons of variants, all kinds of stuff happening. So we're going to try not to spread any fear and uncertainty and that kind of stuff, but just kind of give a little education real quick so you guys know what to look out for and not get caught by this trend that's going on with viruses nowadays. So talk about ransomware. What is it? What does it do? It's pretty simple. It's a piece of software you get on your computer that will encrypt all your data and then hold it for ransom, right?
Hence the name ransomware.
Yep, and the bad thing about it is it's very difficult to get your data back. I mean, John from CPR Tools, data recovery company, how difficult is it to get that?
Very
data
difficult. Any encrypted files, to be honest with you, without the password. But we've had luck with, I think somebody broke Crypto Locker, Crypto Lock and Crypto Block, right?
Yeah, but they change them so often.
So there are ways, but yeah, typically we recommend what the FBI recommends, which is pay the ransom, right?
No, I don't recommend paying the ransom.
What? I thought that was your recommendation.
Not I, my friend.
What do you recommend doing then, Greg? If you to prevent that? So even if somebody in your building or even you or in your under your employ, clicks on a link that they shouldn't and does that, what's a good way to prevent ransomware from affecting us?
Well, I think the best way to do is have good backups, right?
Boom!
That's
I knew
it.
that was
That's
it's.
it.
I led him right into that. Led him right down the path, and he said the exact. Had you not said backups, I would have felt like an idiot.
Yeah, well, that's
but
what I'm going to say. It's all about backups when it comes to ransomware. The people behind ransomware, they're not dumb. This is a pretty hefty platform these guys use. They sell it as a service. They set the ransoms at a price that they know people will pay to get their data back, so they get people to pay. They usually do give you your data back, but realize you are dealing with criminals, right? So you really can't trust them to do anything like that. So, they make a lot of money off ransomware. So it's kind of the new thing. It used to target just users, right? So now they're starting to target business.
Right. I saw the California hospital. It's been a month or two ago now where. They made them pay, or they paid like $10,000 or something.
$17,000.
17,000, yeah. So as an organization, I guess maybe talk about how do you get ransomware? What happens?
And that's it. And that's the thing we need to talk about the most. Most ransomware is got through social engineering or phishing, phishing emails. It's those links that you just can't afford not to click on, right? It's like those things that are just too good to be true. People click on them. They download a document, they run a macro, or something like that, and boom, they got ransomware, and it spreads, pretty quickly. Some of them are a little smarter, right? There's some strains of ransomware out there, and there's a lot of strains. I probably see 5 or 6 different strains a day that are coming out just on the feeds that I follow, which aren't all of them. So, and they do different things. So some ransomware will infect your computer and wait. So it may wait a day or two before it actually starts encrypting files to try to throw people off. Some of them start encrypting right away. But they all do the same things. They search your files, they encrypt them. Some of them will search network files. So if you have files in your network, they're going to go out and search and try to encrypt those as well, which is what happened to the hospital. But 9 times out of 10, these infections are coming from a phishing email. So you got to tell yourself, you got to tell your users, don't click on any links in email that you're not expecting, right?
I would say, yeah, and I would even say, I'd go so far as to say don't even click on links at all anymore. I mean, if you want to, you and I talked about this the other day, if you want to send me something, give me a phone call, shoot me a text, say, hey, I'm going to send you this first. Yeah, right? And then I think, I know it sounds crazy, and I know people hate that, when, especially from a security standpoint, when you make it almost impossible for people to to do their daily routine. But I don't send links, and if I do, you and I we send a quick text and say, hey, I'm going to send you a link to this, I want you to check it out.
Yeah, and that's a practice I've been doing with a lot of our clients lately too, is that before I send them an email that has an attachment, even though they may be expecting, I send them an email beforehand saying, hey, I'm going to send you this email. It's going to have an attachment. It's going to be named this. Or I'm going to send you a link to this website. Realize it's legit. It's coming from me. Be ready for it. And I think that's kind of good practice. It stinks you got to send 2 emails to get one across,
right.
but that's kind of the world we live in today with all these things that happen. We got to stop people from just blindly clicking on links and blindly executing files, because that's what causes us.
And I know the phishing emails today. I mean, we were sitting here in the office. By the way, we're on location today in our office. A little different than the last one we did, but I know we were sitting here today, and I got a phishing email, and the phishing email I got, I knew it wasn't real just by the way it looked, but it was something that was going on in my life today, and I laughed and told Greg, I said, look at this, that it says this, and I'm doing this today, it's going on, and so how. I know luck of the draw, but it's just weird that phishing emails today are really, really good. I know that. With Cybersecurity Defense Solutions, we do a lot of phishing tests, and Greg had just written a great phishing email that he sent me, and I didn't know he was sending it to me. He was testing it, and I
was trying to get him to click really hard,
which I won't, and I forwarded it to Greg, not knowing he did it, and said, check this phishing email out, how good it is. And he said, yeah, that was me. I was testing the system. But phishing emails today are good, and you have to really be on the lookout. I really believe, you're the cyber expert. I'm the recovery guy, security guy for data. But I believe don't click on links. Don't send people links. And if you do, text them, tell them, let them know somehow that you're sending it, because they're good today. I mean, they're good.
They are good. So let's talk about if you get popped, you get ransomware, what to do. Like I said, from our standpoint, you need to really kind of figure out what strain of ransomware you got. And that's important, because if you don't have a good backup, and you should have a good backup, so let's just preface that with, let's hope you have good backups. But you should find out what strain you have, because there are some decryptors out there for some strains of ransomware, right? So, Kaspersky has some, Talos has some, and so you may get lucky. I wouldn't rely on that, because it is really luck of the draw. Because as soon as these realize this is a cat and mouse game, there are researchers out there every day who are trying to figure out what the next level of ransomware is doing. They're trying to find bugs in their software. They're trying to find ways that they can get the keys and things like that. And so as they break these ransomware softwares down and find vulnerabilities, the ransomware guys are reading the same blogs I do, and they fix them, right? So they change keys. They do all this stuff to try to stay ahead of us good guys. So it's a never-ending cat and mouse game. So if you do get popped, obviously if you got bit by a older version where there's a decryptor, that'll be good. If not, then you're unless you pay the ransom, you're really not getting your files back. Don't rely on shadow copy. For those of you who know what that is, if you're looking for point in time things with Windows, where you can keep a shadow copy of your computer at a point in time, most ransomware nowadays will actually go in and delete those. There's a command you run, very simple. It'll delete every shadow copy off your computer, then it starts encrypting. So don't rely on that. It's really about good backups. And one thing I will say, and a lot of advice we've been giving clients lately about, especially ransomware and backups, is that make sure you keep a backup copy offline.
Right.
And this is something that
huge.
Coming from an IT background too, is that we used to have large backup servers, and they were just online all the time. We back up to them, and that was good. If we had an issue, they were there. We pull the backups off, and away you go. But again, the guys that have designed ransomware and written it, they're not dumb, and they understand this, and so a lot of times some of this new ransomware will actually go out and look for backups that are stored online and then encrypt your backups too, right? If you have a backup copy that's kept offline, obviously they can't get to it, and that's good practice to do that every once in a while.
I mean, that's recommended for everything, viruses, ransomware. As a data recovery company, certainly we recommend that you keep double backups, one offline for sure. No worries. Let me ask you this, because we're both CEOs, right? We're presidents of our companies.
I try.
Who's the worst? We do take that lightly, by the way,
Yes.
CEO. Who's the worst? Because I thought it was interesting. We were talking about this the other day, and you brought this up, and then I looked back on my CEO-ness, and I thought, yeah, I am. Who's the worst at this? Who's the worst at following security protocol in your professional experience?
And this is something that we see on assessments a lot, is that obviously it's the higher level executives, it's the people who are in charge, right, who don't want to follow security protocol. They don't want to have, we're going to do another video podcast here on passwords, but they don't want to follow the protocols. They don't want to be the guys that have to change their password every 6 months. They don't want to have to use complex passwords. They don't want to have to use two-factor authentication. They want to use the same password for everything they do, and that's bad, because I know that as a security consultant. The bad guys obviously know
Right.
that. So they become targets. And again, businesses data is worth more. The time it takes to recover that data is another business decision when it comes to paying the ransoms, and the businesses are probably going to pay larger ransoms than a person is. So that's a big focus. The focus was a few years ago on the breach, on the data breach. We want to get data, we want to get records, and that was the focus for hackers. And now it's becoming more and more difficult,
Right.
and those records aren't worth as much money.
That's the
all
key,
they,
right?
All they care about is money. So now the focus is on, where can we make our money the fastest? And
Ransomware is huge, right?
there.
I mean, if you're making 17,000 a chunk, but you're selling credit cards or whatever online for 25 cents,
Right.
it's going to take a hell of a lot of them. So,
and the advent of Bitcoin, which
Right.
people, if you're not familiar, is a cryptocurrency,
which is awesome.
basically kind of untraceable. So these ransomware people want to be paid in Bitcoin, which if you're not used to getting Bitcoin, or you don't have a Bitcoin wallet or an exchange and all that fun stuff, then it can be a pain in the patoot to try to go get Bitcoin and that kind of stuff.
Patoot.
So
we've used two new words for you today: Bitcoin and patoot.
that's not a new word.
Well, I've never heard that word, patoot. I don't even know what that is.
I heard it in some movie somewhere.
Okay, well, yeah,
So.
good. I think that's the 420 talk.
There's only like that much going on.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
It's very tasty, by the way. So.
Well,
So
okay,
let's-
so let's sum it up for him, right?
Recap.
So recap. Ransomware is bad.
Ransomware is
that'll
bad.
be what I'll throw out there. Now you throw the rest out.
So yeah, obviously ransomware is stuff that's going to encrypt your computer. It's going to hold your data for ransom. Hence the word ransomware, right? You realize it comes in through phishing, so please be aware. of what you're
Educate
clicking on.
all employees about phishing emails. Don't just have annual security training. That's great, but do quarterly. Send out phishing emails to show them what they're going to look like. Hold seminars and show them what a phishing email looks like. I mean, that's the key to this. You don't want the employees who never, all they do is work on computers all day, but they don't think about the security aspect of it because that's not their job. It is everyone's responsibility. Sorry, but
that's
I
fine.
preach
That's-
that continuously.
But that's 100% right. I say this all the time when we do speaking engagements, that security nowadays is really not a technology problem. It's an education problem. It's a people problem, and we have to educate people. That's what's going to help in the long run, in my opinion. So you need good technology and things like that, but really it's a people problem. So obviously, don't click on emails. Don't click on those links you think you have to. If you surf porn, you're going to get infected. It's just kind of the way it is. I mean, that kind of stuff. So
have a separate computer for that.
just don't do it.
Okay.
And just don't click on the links and emails. Keep good backups. I mean, I can't extol that value enough to people that
It keeps you
have
from
to keep good backups.
Ransomware, viruses, data recovery companies love it when you don't keep good backups,
Yeah.
right? So it makes us money. So keep a great backup system and check your backups.
Yeah,
Key. We have people come in here, right, that say, "Oh my God, we've been backing up and we haven't checked it, and so a year's worth it hasn't been working." I mean, we get those jobs, so make sure you're checking your backups. Off topic a little bit, but check your backups.
It's apt to this topic, especially when it comes to backups, and I'll tell a quick story about that because I think it's really apropos. And so we went into a company a while ago who had awesome backups. I mean, what they thought were awesome backups. They had a really good process. They were still using tape, love it or hate it. But their process was awesome. Here's how we do it. We don't reuse tapes. Here's where the tapes go. Here's how often we rotate them. Blah 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 blah. It was done. It was documented. Everything was good. They never decided to test to restore until we said, "Have you ever tested one of these tapes?" The guy says, "Well, no." Like, you might want to try to just for the heck of it, just to try to restore some files off of there. So they pull a tape from last week, put it in, tape's blank. Pull a tape out from a month before, blank tape. Pull a tape out from a year before. Blank tape.
Yeah.
It was 2.5 years since they had a really good backup.
Yeah.
And they were obviously a little panicked then. And that's just the key. Your backups are only as good as you can restore from.
That's
right?
amen.
So you got to
Yep.
try to restore from them every once in a while just to make sure they're working. Nothing wrong with that. So keep your good backups. Don't click on emails. Beware of ransomware. Stay away from it. Don't pay the ransom if you really can avoid it. It encourages the behavior, right? It encourages those guys to keep producing more ransomware. Because they're getting paid.
Educate your employees. Educate everybody.
So
Right. So, hey, how was
that's
your
it. It was good.
Sweetwater
So, I like
420?
it.
Dos Equis, I've had it before. It's good.
It's yummy.
It's out of a can. A little different, little tinny taste, but I like it.
It's all good.
All right.
Hey, for Ransomware and Suds Security,
I'm John.
Greg, and I'm Greg.
We'll see you soon.
See you
Bye-bye.
next time.